I want to talk about using Doceri in conjunction with Blackboard Collaborate. And this involves teaching with a whiteboard during distance learning classes. Now, when we teach in a face-to-face manner, there are numerous advantages we have over teaching in the distance environment. One of those particular advantages is that you have greater flexibility and ability to use a whiteboard in the face-to-face environment. And that's how a lot of instruction is done face-to-face. When I teach online, I like to use Blackboard Collaborate. It's a really powerful tool. It lets me communicate with my students in a variety of methods. I can present things using programs, pictures, PowerPoints that I present. It also allows me to communicate them orally through the microphone or through the chat window. I can communicate also. It's also really good for doing breakout groups. You can separate your students in small groups and have them work on individual problems or projects in the breakout groups, and then you can bring everyone back to the main room to talk about it. And as I said earlier, frequently when we're teaching with Blackboard Collaborate, we tend to use PowerPoint to present things. Now, there's certain things that just don't work really well in a PowerPoint document. Some things are better when they're developed step by step on the screen by the instructor. You can draw them in and explain them while you draw them in. These things include chemical pathways or chemical synthesis or structures, mathematical equations, calculations, biological pathways. There are a lot of examples you can think of. And in a face-to-face sense, this is usually done on a whiteboard, drawing it out step by step on a whiteboard. Now, if you've ever tried to use the drawing interface on Blackboard Collaborate, you know that is really challenging to use. So I have the Blackboard Collaborate window open right now. I have my whiteboard, and I'll click on a pen, and I'll try to draw a simple chemical structure like cyclohexane. And there's this bond and this bond and this bond, and then maybe I'll substitute a bromine on it, and it's coming out towards us, and there's my BR, and you can see that's really hard to do, and it's kind of challenging. It's not the best drawing, and it takes a little while to do it. Now, what I found is that I can use a program called Doceri to supplement my teaching on Blackboard Collaborate. It's designed to allow me to control my computer with my iPad, so I can have my iPad in hand and I can walk around the room and control a wirelessly connected computer. It has another function though. It has a whiteboard function, which allows me to write on my iPad as if it's a whiteboard, and it projects on the screen of my computer. I can send this out to my students when I'm using Blackboard Collaborate, and this writing interface is a lot more user-friendly than the one on Blackboard Collaborate. So what you would do is you would have your Blackboard Collaborate window up, you would share your desktop with your students, and then you would pull up the Doceri Whiteboard, and it would look something like this. Now there are a variety of backgrounds that you can use. I usually use the plain whiteboard, but if I wanted to, I could have it as graph paper if I wanted to graph things. If for whatever reasons I want textured lilac paper, I could show that. I could show a world map. It actually has all of the continents available to display except for Antarctica. So that's Africa, Australia, South America, and so on. I can display music staff. If I had need to do that, you can use a chalkboard background, which I don't usually use. As I said, I typically will use my whiteboard. And once I'm on the whiteboard, I can draw whatever I want. So if I try to draw that cyclohexane that I was struggling to draw before, you can see it goes quickly and smoothly. And even though my handwriting is poor, it goes a lot neater. I can choose from a number of different colors, a large variety of colors if I want. I can show a chemical reaction. Let me pick another color, CH3O-, and this comes here, and this leaves, and I end up with my product of a OCH3 like that. If I need to go to a new page and draw something else, I can do that too. So if I wanted to write the equation, rate of change of this compound over time is equal to K times the concentration, I can do that. If I want to go back to the first page and add some new stuff to my first page, I can do that. And say that that reaction happens also. If I need to display pictures or documents, I can pull them up from my photo library. For instance, I can go to here and pull up a periodic table. And I have a highlighter pen and I can highlight things on my periodic table. The transition metals, for instance, and I can change the color of my highlighter and the S block, and then I can write some electron configurations, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. So lots of things I can present, I can write on my documents. So it's really, really useful. Another really useful feature is that I can pull in documents that I've done previously and display them to my students, or I can even modify them. So if I want to, I can go to a file which you can't see on your screen, but I can see it on mine, and I can open this. And this is a document that I worked on previously, and I can go to this page and I can modify it if I want to. So I can say H plus is here, and these electrons go here, and my reaction goes like that. There are also a couple of other tools that I haven't shown you. There is the arrow drawing tool as well, and obviously you have an eraser that you can erase things with. So there are a lot of things you can do with Doceri, and it's a very powerful extension of the things you do with Blackboard Collaborate. And now, to summarize what I've been saying, Doceri allows you to use your iPad as a whiteboard during distance learning sessions. A lot of different options are available on the whiteboard, and photos and documents can be pasted on the whiteboard, and it's very compatible with Blackboard, and it's complementary to the other tools and things that we normally do with Blackboard Collaborate.